customer comes and talks to you about all the things that we're doing with machine learning and data analytics on our platform. So I'd like to invite on stage Dr. Ali Parsa to come and talk to us about Babylon Health and the kind of things that they're doing on AWS.
Alexa, I want to talk to Babylon.
Hi there, I'm Babylon and I'm here to help. To start, tell me what symptom is bothering you the most.
Well, I've got quite a sore stomach.
Sorry to hear that. Let's figure out what's causing your pain and how to treat it. Chris, where exactly is the pain?
It's kind of on the top part of my stomach, sort of in the middle.
And how bad is the pain?
Oh, it's not too bad.
And does it come and go?
Yeah, it comes and goes, and it's worse after eating.
I see. How would you describe the pain?
Sort of feels like a burning pain.
Okay. And are you feeling sick?
Yeah, a little bit.
Have you vomited at all?
No?
Have you noticed you're feeling fuller sooner than usual?
No.
How long have you had this pain?
A few months? 3 months, maybe?
Are you still a non-smoker?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Have you been taking any of your ibuprofen tablets the last few days?
Yeah, I have.
Thanks, Chris. I know enough now to offer information on what may be causing your symptoms. It could be acid reflux or a peptic ulcer. I'd recommend speaking to a GP soon. They're likely to prescribe something called a proton pump inhibitor to control your stomach acid. I can then get this prescription to your home using your Amazon Prime.
Okay, thanks, Babylon.
My pleasure. Thanks for using Babylon with Alexa. Goodbye.
So it doesn't matter if I'm in United States or United Kingdom, if I'm in Rwanda, Russia, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, China, people everywhere are facing the problems of accessibility and affordability of healthcare. And I believe it is absolutely possible today to make healthcare accessible, affordable, put it in the hands of every human being on earth. To make healthcare accessible is actually simpler. As long as we can take most of the healthcare most people need and put it on devices most of them already have, that's highly accessible. We don't need to build clinics, persuade doctors to go to the most remote villages anymore. However, there is no such thing as accessibility without affordability. And when you look at the cost in healthcare and you analyze it down to its smallest pounds and pences, it fundamentally sits in two buckets. One is salaries, and two is timing. 70% of all the money we spend in the National Health Service in Britain today goes into salaries. Doctors, nurses are highly professional, expensive, rare assets. Most diseases, by the time they manifest their symptoms, a $10 problem has often become $100 solutions. So if we can find out ways to allow doctors and nurses to focus on what they should focus on and for machines to do the parts that they can do on one hand, and if we can find out ways to predict the disease and see people's behavior ahead of a symptom developing, we should be able to significantly reduce the cost of healthcare. So what we do in Babylon is to try and combine machine learning and artificial intelligence to allow patients to manage themselves, to find any problem they have, to diagnose their own diseases, to find the treatment they need to do, by just talking to us with our chatbots and our voice-operated systems, as you just watched. But when necessary, press a button, and within minutes talk to a GP or a doctor. And when they need to see one physically, which is true only 1 in 10 times, we will then send them to our clinics or to the existing clinics of the countries in which we operate to take the burden away from the physical assets. We did that in Britain to see if we can do that in one of the countries that has one of the highest expectations of healthcare. And what we found was that it doesn't matter who our clients were. In some of the richest cities in the world, they loved the service. The Net Promoter Score was 95%. We did it recently for the National Health Service in Britain, when in 5 months in central London, we took 5% of the population who switched to Babylon from their existing GPs. Then we took that to one of the poorest countries in the world to see that whether we can deliver the same service, the same quality of healthcare at prices that one of the financially most challenged nations in the world could do. In Rwanda, we signed up people in their millions. 30% of the population of Rwanda today is registered on Babylon, thanks to the government of Rwanda and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, who put the entire country on our system. And we are now about to do that in a number of other countries. But to be able to do that, at the core of all of that sits an artificial intelligence brain, as we call it, that tries to mimic the way a doctor operates. Think about what you do when you send a doctor to university. First, we give them a significant amount of knowledge to learn everything there is to learn about medicine. So we had to create a knowledge base that has 530 million strings of knowledge. We also had to create a graph database for every single patient. Then a doctor talks to a patient in order to understand more information. So we had to create natural language processing that can understand medicine. So when I say my back is killing me, it doesn't call the police. A doctor then does triage and diagnostics. It tells you what's wrong with you. We had to create what is today the world's largest probabilistic graphical model in medicine, together with one of the most sophisticated inference engines, to be able to do an auditable diagnostic processing. A doctor then predicts. It tells you where you're going to go, what's going to happen to you next. We had to create predictive modeling and prescriptive modeling to be able to do so. And then a doctor learns. That's why we call it practice. And we had to create machine learning on top of all of that. So every single interaction we have with our patients teaches the machine how to learn. In average, a doctor does 7,000 consultations a year. We do that number of consultations often in a few hours. The speed at which our machine is learning is just truly phenomenal. But to do all of that, just to have a brain is useless. Almost any imagine academic exercise may be able to do so. The question is, can we deploy it at an enterprise level and distribute it globally? So we take our brain and we put it in AWS GPU instances centrally. And while most companies use the GPU servers in order to train their neural networks, we use it in real time, in real production, to talk to our customers. However, in healthcare, data is highly precious, and it sits locally in each country. Countries do not allow that data to be taken out because in some countries it's part of national security, the health of their nation. So we then allow that data sit in each country separately, and we have created communications, and then it communicates with Babylon's proprietary cognitive language capability, so that in real time we can take patient-identifiable data out and only send the stuff to our central servers that do not recognize our patients, anonymized, and send it out. And then we use, of course, Amazon for its security capabilities in order to put that in the hands of our patients everywhere. The fact that Amazon has such a large footprint, of course, is of massive interest to us. We love the fact that not only they have that footprint, they have fantastic plans now to develop that as fast as they can. We want to put healthcare into the hands of everybody, and therefore we need our partners to be as ambitious as we are and hopefully go faster than we can. We think that together we can put an affordable, accessible healthcare into the hands of every human being today. Thank you.
That is one pretty cool, impressive demo, by the way. Congratulations on that.